Yo, hey, what's going on, guys? It's Guido coming at you with a Coffee Talk Supplemental. This should be, I think, Thursday afternoon. But I wanted to talk about a little bit about the World of Tanks 10th anniversary and show you a couple things that you can get for it and then go through it just a little bit with everybody. First things first, we're going to start with some of the rewards that you can get, which are these camos, all right? So you're going to get coins. We'll get into that in just a minute. But the camos you can get. So the first one is this one. I'm showing you on the T1 Heavy. We're actually going to do this in the garage because this one changes for each climate. So desert map, and what it is actually a map. So it's a desert map. I'm not sure which one it is, and it shows up once you get it. At least for me, it's all the way over here on the right, and it's sense of direction. It's this one right here. This one can go on any tank. Okay, so you've got this one. You've got winter, which is I think Himmelsderp. And then, because if you hover over it, you can get a little better view of what it looks like right there. And I don't know what the summer is, Kamara, and I'm not really sure which one that is, to be quite honest. Maybe Pearl River, Old Pearl River, don't know. But it's not a bad cam. It actually ends up looking pretty cool, even though it's a map. It's got a 1 and a 2. Oh, okay, those are the cap circles. So it looks like the old style cap circle idea on those things. Yep, same idea on this one, it would appear. So it looks pretty cool. The other camo then, I just happened to put that on the T1. The other one is the Red Fortress, I believe it's called. So Red Fortress, which is only for the KV5. Again, I believe it's all the way over here on the right when you buy it. There it is, Red Fortress. And it says KV5, current vehicle. And I believe if we change it, that it will show us. We go ahead and go Prime Festivity. Come back over here, Red Fortress, applicable types, KV5. Is it actually current vehicle? Let's apply this and see what happens here. That's apply and exit, which is not what I wanted to do. We'll go back in there and take it all the way over. Use the slide bar here this time. And we go like this, KV5. So this one is KV5 only for Red Fortress. That's another one of the camos you can get. The third camo then is for the KV220-2. All right, and these are camos for premiums. Okay. You can get one camo that isn't for premiums, and you got 3 camos that are for premiums. Actually, is this one? Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. This one is called, again, all the way over here. Let's go ahead and use this. Transformer Vault. And it does not change for winter, desert, or summer. It's kind of cool looking. Got the little hazard symbol thing there, and kind of an off-white, pale blue looking thing, Transformer Vault. Excuse me, so that one's pretty cool. And then we've got, last but not least, ducks. They're geese. They look like ducks, but they're actually geese. And it's something about Rome, protector of Rome or something. Remember the geese gave the alarm when Rome was being attacked right there. So this is only for the mutant. If you want geese all over, this is probably the worst of the lot. But there you go. That's just my opinion. People may like that quite a bit. So those are the 3 camos. Let's go ahead and call up then the website, and we will take a look here as we get into this. All right. This is broken up into acts. During an act, there's an active phase and then a pause or something they call it. All right. So Act 1 battle is from April 21st to May 18th. This is going to go on for a while. I think there's 4 acts. We'll get that in just a minute. We have acts, active phases, and anniversary missions. And there's actually a pause phase or something in there. An active phase, breather, that's the word. It's called a breather. Active phase for 1 week, during which you can do special time warps, which I don't... Oh, that's right. The time warp right now is all chat. Time warp means some mechanic from the past. So right now, this week, it's all chat. As far as all chat goes, we'll get that in a minute. I'll show you how you have to do that, because it doesn't just start. You actually have to deselect your blocking chat or something. I'll get to it in a minute. And then you have a breather. So you do it for a week and then you have 20 days. What that means is for the week, there's some relatively intensive missions. I'll show you in the UI what they are. I've already finished mine. And I'll show you what you get, and then the store as well. And then there's a breather, which is going to be just a daily mission, and you'll be able to trickle some more coins. All right, so what you're trying to do is coins. During both active phases and breathers, you can get anniversary missions and random battles. There's a set of 9 missions. I'll show those to you during the active phase, divided into 3 consecutive blocks. It says consecutive, but mine don't seem to all go at the same time. Consecutive to me means you do one then the other, but that it's consecutive within the block. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. It's a little bit confusing, but you can do all 3 of the blocks. You just do the first part of the 3 blocks, and you know what I'm saying? It goes like that. It's, again, anyway, I'll try to explain it when I get into the UI. For completing each one of those, you get anniversary coins. So that's going to be what you are trying to gather. That's the currency for this event. And then after completing the entire set, you'll unlock an additional daily mission. I did not see that. I probably did it. We'll look in the UI if there's any indication of it. If it happened, I missed it. That one was a surprise because I didn't really know that was going to happen. So you get the coins, you can get inscriptions, you can get emblems, and you can get projection decals, which I don't know what that means. Interesting. Well, let's take a look at that. And then you get a key. So if you complete all anniversary missions of the active phase of an act, then you get a gold key. I happen to have 1 gold key because I finished those. I'll show you what I mean in just a minute. If you get 3 gold keys, then you get the main reward, which is a tank. No, it's not a tank. It's a 3D style for a T-30. Okay, free stuff, got it. They're not that hard, got it. A little underwhelming, yeah. I feel like I'm a little bit worried that there's maybe something else coming later, and I'm hoping that it isn't needing to save up a bunch of your coins. My advice, at least for the moment, first of all, I don't think this is going to happen, but my real advice for the moment is to hold on to your coins till you get towards the end of the event and then spend them. But I think we need to prove that Wargaming isn't going to pull some kind of thing on us late game and go, oh, by the way, here's a big thing, award you can get with a lot of coins. I have zero SA that that's going to happen. I've actually asked a question. I think it's not going to happen, but you know what I'm saying? I think you know what I'm saying. I think you know what I'm saying. And unless you really must have some of those camos or these inscriptions, I would probably hold on to them because at the end of the event, you're going to be able to just go on a splurge. I'll show you this store in just a minute. You can redeem your rewards, 3 keys. You're going to get a mind-blowing 3D style for the teeth. Mind-blowing. Your mind will explode on how good it is. I don't know. I'll go look. I don't think I have it. I was given the other ones to show you guys, but I don't know if I have the T-31. Medals, awards, badges. Badges. We don't need no sticking badges. But yeah, you're going to get those. There's the anniversary store. It's in the regular store. We'll get to that in just a minute. There are gold bundles going on. I'll take a look at those on Sunday, whether they're worth that much or not. They're probably a decent deal. Unique customizations is what we were just talking about. There's the camo for the 2 M26 A2 E1. If you buy these are also in the store. So you can buy the Mutant again, you can buy the KV5 again, and you can buy the 220-1. All fun tanks, all quite power creeped. I think of the 3, the most viable still is the M6A2E1. The KV5 got a buff in the relatively recent past, maybe what was it, a year or 2 ago, that made it more competitive. It's a fun tank, but I think of the 3, this is the most competitive of the 3, even though it's probably in the mid to lower competitiveness level for a premium, but it is a pretty cool tank. Played it today, I think. And if you buy it, I think you end up getting, and this is what I'm getting out of this with the bundle, you'd have to look at, make sure you look at it in the store, but it looks like you get the Savior of Rome, which is only for the Mutant, and the Sense of Direction, which is for anything. And that plays out for the rest of these. With the KV5, you get the only for KV5 Red Fortress, and you get the Sense of Direction, and with the 220, if you buy it, you get the only for the 220 Transformer Vault, and you get the Sense of Direction. See what I'm saying? The one is for any tank you want. This one goes with the tank you're buying. There you go. All right. Take part in time warps. There's no other SA right now. Maybe on one of the blogs, somebody's got a leak on that. Right now, Act 1 is general chat, so you can talk to people on the other team, and if you're already, you can say things like, hey, catch. One of my favorite, actually, in the past was when I was doing a lot more counter, and when it was more viable based on the splash and amount of damage that artillery did. I would type in something like goodbye M4043. I'd hit that and then I would fire. I know, childish. It was fun. And when it hit, it hit. And when it missed, it was not as cool. All right. So check out latest updates. There's the Info Hub, learn more, 10th anniversary. And then the Info Hub, if you click on that, takes you to another page. Was I not just on an info hub? Okay, I'll give you one thing. This info hub gives you the rest of the acts. Act 1 is battle. Anniversary missions, general chat, special anniversary bundles. All right, maybe we're going to get the... Oh, no. News for this act will be published in the middle of May. Aww. News for this act will be in June. This is going for a while, guys. We're going to July. Oh, my gosh. We're going to August. And that's, I guess, it. So this is kind of a marathon. This is a long marathon. I'm just sort of wondering if by the time we get to September or August, there's going to be something else for the coins. That's my concern. You know what I'm saying? I know we just talked about it, but forewarned is forearmed. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's get rid of this, and we'll come over here. We've seen what we wanted to see with the tanks, and let's go into the missions real quick. Also, before I finish, I am going to answer a question by Jonathan. We're going to go on a slight tangent here. Who asked me asks me. He asks me a lot of great airplane questions. So he really likes the airplanes. We're going to talk a little bit about scrambling and flying fighters as far as that goes, because his question was about how fast you can do that. So we'll break that down at the end. But first, let's get through all this good stuff. Daily missions. These are the daily things. We want to go over to here. This is Act 1. Good old days, great hunt, black spot. We're just going to open all three of these up. So what you see, and what I'm saying is you've got these three different phases. When they say concurrent, they mean you do this one, then this one, then this one. You know what I'm saying? But you can do all three of these at one time. So basically you're starting this, and whatever progress you get in that battle towards those three, it'll go. Okay, and then it starts here. For example, you needed 7,500 experience to get to here. You had to do another 15,000 to get here and another 20,000. Let's see. Math in public, 42.5, right? I think that's right. 1,000 experience to make that happen. What I don't remember is whether it bleeds over. Say I needed 1 experience here and I had a 1,000 experience game. Did the rest of it get put here? I don't know the answer to that. This is penetrations. That was pretty easy. 15, 25. That's going to happen. I played today 22 games. That's more than a lot of people. I played a little bit yesterday, but you have a week to do this. I think this is very, very doable, even for a casual 5 or 6, 10 game a night player. Okay, you may have to do a little sprint at the end or something, but pretty doable. Oh, and by the way, you're getting these coins. So I have now. Well, we'll go to the store and I'll show you how many coins I got out of all of this. But 10 here, 15, 20. It goes up the harder it is. Same thing here. This was damaged vehicles. So I did 7, then 22, and almost 50, right? 48. Okay. Now, what I don't know is, did the extra missions show up? Premium bonus days. No, this is just premium bonus days you're getting as part of the event. Every day you can get a premium day. I don't know, guys. It did mention an extra mission, and I don't remember seeing it or what happened. If anybody knows, go ahead and throw it down in the description or in the comments. I bet somebody does know that. Last but not least on this, we'll go to the store. Now realize those 9 missions are for the first week, for the active phase, and then there's going to be the breather. Okay. I don't know, man. I don't know where they come up with these things. But anyway, the breather apparently is going to have 1 mission a day. So you'll dribble some more coins in there. I don't know what the total number of coins you can get is. I didn't really see any information on that yet. Somebody can probably do the math based on what we got here. Although we don't know what the coin worth is per day for the breather. So that's probably not going to be known for about a month. I got 345 is the bottom line for what I got out of the missions I did. So I have 345 coins. The first one's the bundles. This is the stuff you can buy for money. Oh my gosh, are there coins in here? There are coins in there. Oh my gosh. All right, hold on. Let's see. If you pay $53.69, how many coins do you get? 300 coins. Wow. For 53 bucks, you get 12,500 and 300 coins. I mean, 300 coins. All right, so just keep that in mind. Let's go over to here. And was that with a tank or was that just a bundle? That's just auxiliary bundle. Never mind the tanks. Okay, do the tanks come? Hold on, I'm going to go over here to this other page. Let me see if the tanks come with coins as well. KV5, crew, the style Red Fortress, sense of direction, garage slot, 30 days of premium, personal reserves, and 30 times 5s. I do not see, let me make sure here, I do not see any coins packaged or bundled with the tanks. So, okay, so the coins are bought with those auxiliary bundles, not with the tanks. Let me just look at, that was for the maximum bundle. What about the next one down? I don't see coins on there. So it looks like you don't get coins with the tanks, but you can buy these auxiliaries. All right, go to exterior, and now you can see what you can buy with the coins. And you get 300 with the big package, which is good enough for 3 styles here. Interesting. So you could get a transformer. Why is sense of direction more? I don't know. I guess because it's probably because it's useful on any tank. They're going to hit you for 50 more coins to do that. So that's not bad. As of doing the first week, I can get 3 of these right off the bat. I can get all kinds of inscriptions. I mean, I'm 10 per 100, right? So that's 30, 32. 32 of these things. No, that's not right. It's not 10, it's 5. Math in public, that's 15. So 17 of these things I can get. Honestly, none of these appeal to me, but I know a lot of people like this kind of stuff to put on their tank. I suppose no cap. This actually kind of made me laugh. That's maybe one of the inscriptions I would get and put on my tank, to be quite honest. Soon. That's pretty funny, actually. And then there's other, and this is regular stuff. And I thought that was interesting. So you can get, the only personal reserves apparently, as of right now, you can get are training boosters, and it's 300% for an hour. That's a pretty good one, actually. So for 20 coins, you can get some nice crew boost. You can, oh, never mind, there's 2 of them. I missed that one. There's also a 100% experience boost for 20, and the rest of these are directives. That's really cool. I like the optical calibration for my scouts. That's a great one. Orderly ammo rack is nice for your heavies. Stabilizer's nice. Vent's good. I don't know who uses this. I suppose somebody does for pre-battle maintenance and aim tuning. These are all very good, actually, minus the pre-battle maintenance. I don't know why anyone would use that, but I suppose if you're running a great big assault TD like a T95, that might be something you'd throw on there to help repair stuff when people try to track you. So there you go. So 345, whatever I can get in the during the pause or whatever they call it, cool down. I can't remember the dang word yet right now. Could it be as many? Maybe get 600 per time. You've got, what, 4 months of this thing? It looks like you can end up with quite a lot of stuff. Will any of this change over time? I don't know. I suppose the exterior probably won't, because this looks like stuff that was made for the event, but maybe they add more things or new things. You got a Stug Life one. You can put a Stug Life on your tank, or Hetzer's Hetz. Haul truck. I don't know what that is there for. This is talking about in the past, they used to have problems with tanks teleporting. Yeah, I used to have problems with tanks teleporting. So that's it, guys. That's pretty much how it works. Right there. There's a store. There are tickets you can get. I'm a little bit wary of the fact that maybe there's something else coming in the next 4 months. I feel like a 3D style is kind of a lame end game reward. So I don't know. I mean, you got to get 3 keys to do it. I've already got 1, so I'm assuming you only have to do 3 of the 4 events to get a key. And if you end up with 4 keys, is there going to be something just pop up at the end? And maybe it's keys that are going to be the thing that get you something better if they do throw something at us. I'm telling you guys, I don't know. You know what I mean? 2 months from now, if they threw something really cool in for 1,000 coins and you already spent it on a bunch of inscriptions, I think that would cause a bit of a riot, but I can't discount that. You know what I'm saying? So I'll leave it up to you guys to play it the way you want to, but that should explain more or less what is happening with this whole thing. Enjoy the anniversary. It's usually pretty cool. There's some good stuff there. It's not a problem. I'm just, like I said, I'm just a little bit, is it gun shy or wary or whatever it is you want to call it. All right, so the next part then is for Jonathan. He asked me a question. I tried to find it, but it's buried in my comments somewhere, and I meant to write it down, but I forgot. He basically asked me, the question was about equipment, I think helmets or something. And I said, well, the life support guys clean your helmet every time you fly, provided they're around. So if you're at your home base and you have life support there, and you go fly, you come back, you put your helmet on the counter, and then you hang up your G suit and your harness, and your flight bag and everything else. You put your stuff in your locker. Every pilot's got a locker in there. You put all that stuff in there, but you put the helmet on the counter or wherever it is that they want you to put it, and then they clean it. So you got a helmet. This is mine. Now this one is a bit older style because it doesn't have the helmet mounted display. Okay, so it doesn't have the big helmet mounted stuff where you can get optical cueing, all kinds of stuff on the helmet. This is an older style. I never flew with the heads up or helmet mounted display. But they'll take this thing, and what they're looking to do is they're going to clean their, Jonathan, they're going to clean the inside, because what happens is when you sweat inside of the mask right there, obviously there's a mic for receiving the sound, and then there's valves for the oxygen to come through, both forward and back, obviously, and you get sweat and gunge in there, and eventually it gets mucked up. So they take all that, they clean it. There's inspection times. I don't know if I still have my inspection. There it is. It says 5 March JCD, which I think is the initials of the guy who did it, guy or gal who did it, and then when it's due, or when it was done, I guess. So it's probably yearly. And then when they do the big inspections, and I don't know when they are, they could be every 30 days, whatever it is, the life support guys took care of that. They'll tear down the whole thing, clean it out real good, and test everything, replace any of the parts that need replacing, and then put it back on your rack. So that's how that goes as far as your equipment. And then they've got inspections for your G-suit, inspection times for your harness. A lot of times you go in there, and if you weren't paying attention, your harness would be getting an inspection. You'd either have to get another one or they'd reset it. So it was all very organized and specific to make sure that your equipment was good. A life support equipment failure is a problem if you're trying to eject or even just flying. If you get a valve stuck or something and you're not getting enough oxygen, that can lead to hypoxia, which can lead to bad things. When you start losing blood to the brain while flying, that's not good. Or oxygen to the brain, really, either one, to be quite honest. I guess the one carries the other, really. I suppose you could be getting a lot of blood to the brain and not have a lot of oxygen in it as well. So there's multiple issues there. So the next question then he was talking about is, all right, well, how fast can you get airborne? That is one of those questions that has multiple answers. So the fastest you would get airborne is anywhere from a couple minutes to 5. We would sit 5-minute alert, which meant you had 5 minutes to get from a dead sleep to the airplane, start, and take off. Depending on how your alert facility was set up, that would be easier or less easy. Sometimes you would sleep next to the jet. Usually you were in a building nearby, so you would sleep with your flight suit on. The klaxon would go off. You'd slip out of bed there. You'd put your boots on, grab your harness, your helmet, your bag, and you'd run out the door, and you'd be putting that on as you went to the jet. And the only way that works for 5 minutes is the jet's what's called hot cocked, which means you've started it and set it up and flipped all your switches, and all you're waiting for is to jump in, pull the handle, which is the JFS. That's how you start, at least the F-15. There's different ways for different jets. And you could be off and running in 5 minutes. Get strapped in and off you go. That is coordinating with the crew chief, making sure everyone on that team understands how that's going to work. You don't have a lot of pins in for gear and weapons and things like that. You have some. You don't have the intake covers in, blah, blah, blah. That jet is ready to go in 5 minutes, and everyone, it's set up, boom. Normally, for a standard mission, peacetime mission, you would come in, and obviously you're not going to rage out to your jet, jump in, and just take off. So a standard day for a mission, for a training mission, would be an hour ahead. You would start briefing, but before that, anywhere from 30 minutes to 3 or 4 or 5 hours of planning, depending on the complexity of the mission. So you have anywhere from 30 minutes to 5 or 6 hours. Could be days, depending on if it's a really big LFE kind of thing, large force. But let's just say it's a BFM hop. You're going to go 1v1. You're going to go fly basic fighter maneuvers within visual range where you can see each other. Defensive, offensive, or neutral, doesn't matter. You plan 30 minutes as the flight lead. You probably plan 30 minutes as the wingman as well, getting weather and checking on NOTAMs and other things, making sure you're signed out, you got all your stuff taken care of. And then you brief for about an hour on that. And then you go to life support, you put your stuff on, and you go to the desk, to the ops desk, and you find out which jet you're flying, driving, riding, flying. And all that takes about an hour. So about 2 hours before takeoff, you brief for an hour, you go to the desk, get your stuff, you walk out to the jet, you get in, you have a start time that is the same for both of you. You both start, you check in the radios, and about 2 hours after you started briefing, you take off. BFM hop's going to go 30 minutes to 45. If you tank, you might go hit a tanker and do another 30 minutes or 45 minutes, depending on what kind. Usually it's more like 30 or slightly less. But let's say you're not doing a tanker today. You're going to take off. You're going to do 40 minutes of BFM, and then you're going to RTB, come back, maybe do 1 or 2 patterns, overheads, and land. That probably costs you about an hour by the time you taxi back and get out of the jet. So now you're 3 hours into the event, or 3.5 if you consider the 30 minutes of planning that you did. And then you can do, it takes 40 minutes to get out of the jet, get back into life support, back into the squadron, take all your stuff off, put it in life support like we just talked about, sign out for anything like you got to do, we call them TAR cards. They had some other acronym I can't remember, but basically you write down the events you did, because you have to have so many landings and instrument approaches and other various things to keep currency. So you sign out your paperwork basically. You do your maintenance paperwork. You tell them if there's any problems with the jet, and that takes you about 30 minutes to an hour. Plus you're going to go in, you're going to look at your tape. So you get your tape, and then you're going to go through your tape, look at that for debrief purposes, and then the two of you get back together about an hour after landing. That was typically when you decided to rejoin, and you debrief. And the debrief kind of depends on if it's a CT, a continuation training mission. You got 2 guys that are qualified. There's no upgrade going on. That could take 30 minutes to an hour. If you're an upgradee or a student, if you're the student wingman or you're no kidding upgrading as a flight lead or instructor or something, that could take an hour, 2, 3, 4, depending on the complexity of the mission. And that's just for a basic BFM hop. So you're talking 6 to 8 hours just for probably the easiest mission that we did. And it goes on from there. I've been in debriefs that lasted 6, 8 hours. I know that there are guys, weapons officers, who have been in debriefs for 12 hours, maybe more, really breaking down specific and difficult missions. They get a little crazy about it, but they're trying to get to the highest level. So all of that debrief stuff is kind of what I bring to this game. Even though it's just a pixel tank game, it's just that training on how to break down things, and that's kind of where I get it from my flying career. But there you go, Jonathan. I hope that was a nice long answer. I know a lot of times I just kind of type out a couple sentences there, but that should break it down for you. A lot of people think that fighter pilots come in, they have a cup of coffee, they fly, and then they hit the bar. Well, that not exactly. If you start getting something more than 1v1, say you're going to do a 4v4 or 4v6, that could be about a 12-hour day. By the time you do all the planning, all the briefing, the flying itself, landing, and debriefing, because there's a much longer process for debriefing a 4v4 or 4v6, 4v8, whatever it ends up being, than there is just for a 1v1. There's a lot more to it, especially if you're the guy that's leading the debrief, or you were the flight lead or the Blue Air flight lead for that. All right, man. I hope that answered your question, brother. That's all I've got for you guys. So enjoy the anniversary. If you liked that last part, let me know. We can do more stuff like that. I kind of enjoy talking about it. So that's all I've got for Coffee Talk Supplemental. You guys have a good rest of your Thursday. Have a good Friday and weekend. You can expect me and Pilgrim on Sunday for Coffee Talk. We're going to have Pilgrim back for sure. So we'll do Coffee Talk there. My next stream, probably Monday. Probably next Monday if I don't sneak one in over the weekend at some point. And expect next Tuesday's interview to be 13 Disciple. Later, guys. That's all I've got. See ya.